So why did Anakin lose to the high ground? Well, because it was the high grounds. Thanks for watching, guys. No, I'm just kidding. In today's video, we're gonna discuss the reasons Anakin lost to the high ground while covering some basic canon comics for our answer. So with all the jokes about the high ground being the impenetrable form of attack,
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
I have the high ground!
spawning a universe full of hilarious memes and jokes, it's led me to analyze just why the high ground was so amazing. And it's not just because it was at a higher elevation, it actually requires some knowledge from the Anakin and Obi-Wan comics for this answer. The one in particular is this one, where Anakin fights a droid simulated to look and fight just like Darth Maul. As the story pans to the balcony above as Palpatine, Mace Windu, and Obi-Wan observe the young Padawan's impressive abilities, they realize that Anakin is fighting a Darth Maul simulator, as Obi-Wan tells them that he has pestered him non-stop about his fight with the Sith. Anakin knew exactly how Obi-Wan defeated him, and it's no coincidence that the final battle between Master and Apprentice, the soon-to-be Darth Vader, ended in such a poetic way, paying homage to the defeat of the first Sith Lord to show himself within 1,000 years. Only this time, Obi-Wan allowed the spawn of the most potentially powerful Sith to corrupt and carry out the Emperor's bidding. It's pretty cool if you look at it in this poetic way. Anakin had a big inferiority complex. He always wanted to beat Obi-Wan to prove he was more powerful than his master, and always one step ahead of him. In the Revenge of the Sith novel, during his denial to be granted the rank of master, Anakin challenged Mace Windu in his mind, playing out a little fight until Obi-Wan snapped him out of his daydream, just standing there, which is when he bows and takes a seat. He also always compared himself to Yoda, as we saw in episode 2, when he thought he rivaled the Grand Jedi in lightsaber combat. This moment for Skywalker was a way to say he was better than Obi-Wan, not just because Obi-Wan had the advantage for the higher ground, but because it was how Obi-Wan killed Maul when he was around the same age as Anakin. This was a last stab at his master that he was just as, if not better, than him. How he could do the same thing as him and win. That this move that caused his and the Jedi Order's victory against the Sith will now be the downfall of the Order entirely. Anakin was going to cut his master in half like Maul, so it was fitting that Obi-Wan defended himself in such a way. He could feel the malevolence in Anakin's energy. The hatred at this point was too strong within Anakin.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
He blamed Obi-Wan for holding him back this entire time and using him as a scapegoat for his mother's death, for the death of Padme, and for him not becoming a master on the council. So for that reason, fueled by rage and arrogance, of course, as well, he leapt. However, his calculations were too short and it cost him his fate of eternal suffering. Anakin was a brilliant Jedi. As smart and battle-savvy as he was in the Clone Wars, he knew the best plan of attack was to wait and cross at a distance slightly further down the riverbank. But he didn't. He was clouded by his arrogance, and it led to his rise as the masked Darth Vader. It's too bad for Anakin. Obi-Wan had mastered the high ground and the low ground.
Another happy landing.
When it comes to who was stronger, well, that's not a debate for this video. However, I do believe that Anakin was more powerful, potentially. However, their force powers were almost identical, as we saw when they repelled one another back during their duel. What did you think of his demise? Was it fitting to the story or rushed? Did you read the comic that I mentioned, and did it ever make you think, was Anakin trying to emulate that same move from his master's fight? Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the analysis and it made you think a little bit. I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
the Force will be with you. Always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.